In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to add full-text search to your AdonisJS application using MySQL built-in full-text search functionality. Unlike using the like operator, full-text search allows you to search for records across multiple columns. So yeah, I have an AdonisJS application with Lucid installed and configured. We will be using the concept of blog posts, and I have created some seed data which I have seeded the database with, which we will be using for testing. Let's start by creating a new migration, which will add the full text index to the posts table. Node is make migration. I will call the migration add full text to posts. Let's open it up and update it. What we are going to do is alter the post table, and for that we'll be writing raw query. So I'm going to get rid of this. We can get rid of the table name as well. Then this will be schema.raw. Inside the raw method is where we are going to write our raw query. So alter table. The name of the table is posts, and we want to add full text index. Then we can specify the columns we want to add the full text index to inside the brackets. In this case, it's going to be the title column and the content column. We can also give the index a name, say full text underscore index. This can be anything. I'm just using full text underscore index to be very explicit. And that is all the query we need to write to add full text index to the post table. If we like, we can also drop the index when the migration is rolled back. Again, we'll make use of raw query. So this .schema.raw, then alter table post, then drop index, and the name of the index is full text underscore index. Now let's run the migration. Node is migration run. Now if we head over to our database, and if I refresh this, you see we have a new index with the name we specified, and the type is full text, and the columns are the ones we specified, that is title and content. Now all we need to do is query the table, putting into consideration the full text we just added. Let's open the welcome view. I've gotten rid of the default styles and the markup, so we're going to create a search form. The action will be to /search. The method will be get, since we want to capture the query string. Then we have an input of type search, and for the name we'll simply call it Q, which represents query. Then I can get rid of this. Then we have a button with the text search. Then for the search result, I'm going to wrap this inside an if statement. So if posts, then we have an heading that says search results. To keep things simple, we will simply display the results in a list, but that will only be if there are search results. So let's have another check here. So if posts.length is greater than 0, then we will have our list. We will loop through each of the posts and display the title. Posts in posts. Post.title. But if there are no search results, that is else, we'll simply display a paragraph with the text no results found. So now let's wire this up. We're going to do that directly inside the route file. So we'll create a new route. The route pattern will be search, which is what we specified inside the form. To keep things simple, we are going to make use of inline route handler. And we need request and view. This will also make use of the welcome view. So let me grab this. Now let's perform the query. Await posts. The post model has been imported at the top. .query. We will have a where clause that will filter the results based on what is being searched. Instead of using the normal where method we are used to, we are going to make use of the where raw method. because we want to write raw query. The where raw method accepts two arguments. The first one is the raw query, which will be match the name of the columns we added the full text index to, which are the title and content. Then we're going to run this against the search query. We are going to make use of parameter binding. So we add a placeholder here. The second argument to the where raw method is the bind parameter. So this is where we pass in the search query, which we can get from the request. So request.input. The name of the field is Q. What this will do is replace the placeholder with the search query. Let's save this inside a variable and pass it to the view. I'm going to save to reformat this. Now we can start the server and check it out in the browser. Here we have our very basic search form. Before we search for anything, let's head over to the database and take a look at our data. So that will give us an idea of what to search for. Let's start by searching for testing. Sure, we have a result because the query string matches the title. Let's also see if it picks from the content and not just the title. I'm going to search for AdonisJS. So now we have 3 results. Obviously, all these have AdonisJS in the title, which might not really do justice to what I'm trying to achieve. Let's search for Edge. Again, we have 3 results. Only the first result has Edge in the title, whereas the other 2 doesn't. Let's check the content for the other 2. The first one is adding view to an AdonisJS application, which has the word Edge in the content. Then the second one is extending AdonisJS, which also has the word Edge in the content. So that shows that the search query is working as expected. We can search across both the title and the content. To wrap up, let me mention that MySQL full text index has 3 search modes. So we have the natural language, the Boolean mode, and query expansion. By default, the natural language mode is used, but we can indicate that we want to use other mode by specifying it inside against. So we do in then the name of the mode, say Boolean mode, or in natural language mode, which is the default, or the last option, which is query expansion. For that, we make use of with query expansion. The one you would use will depend on your use case. For example, natural language mode interprets the search query as literal phrase, whereas the Boolean mode allow you to include Boolean operators such as less than, greater than, plus, minus in search queries. Then lastly, query expansion performs the search twice. I'm going to revert this to the default. So that is how to implement full text search in AdonisJS using MySQL built-in full text functionality.